What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about, is Dwight Howard a Hall of Famer? So let's see what they have to say.
Dwight Howard is revitalizing his career coming off the bench for the Lakers this season. He'll also be making a return to the dunk contest at All-Star Weekend on Saturday. He'll be the oldest ever entrant. It has been a while since we've seen the dominant Dwight of old, but yesterday Nick Young sparked a debate where he asked his followers if they thought Dwight was a Hall of Famer. Swaggy P tweeted, "So, I'm having this big debate. I said Dwight Howard is for sure in the Hall of Fame, and people was looking at me crazy saying I'm tripping. What y'all think?" So guys,
Yes, I think Dwight Howard is definitely a Hall of Famer.
what y'all think? Is Swaggy P tripping or not? Is Dwight Howard a Hall of Famer? Start with you, Max.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. I say that grudgingly, by the way, because I know why people might think that he's not, but I think he is. Dwight Howard, after the back injury, was not a Hall of Famer anymore. So he's only made 8 All-Star teams. 8 All-Star teams. But he hasn't been an All-Star player, even a good player, even a player you want on your team very often, since he hurt his back, which is going back now almost a decade. He's kind of hung around. He's having a nice year this year. I think that's important for him.
Yeah, so Dwight Howard's definitely having a good year. He's definitely complimenting the Lakers. So Dwight Howard's stats for this year go as he's averaging 8 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, and 1 assist a game. Little food for thought.
But Stephen A., in those 8 All-Star appearances, 5 times he was All-NBA first team. Forget about the number of times he's Defensive Player of the Year, the stats, everything else. He was 5 times correctly named All-NBA. The intensity of his prime. When you're a
So those are some pretty solid numbers. There's more, but we'll get into that later on in this video.
top 5 player in the NBA. It's not just that he was All-NBA because you say, well, there weren't a lot of great centers. He was also correctly viewed as a top 5 player in the league back then. A team built around him made the finals. He was worth a max contract and probably more at his best. The quality of his prime, Stephen A., which is higher than a lot of people in the Hall of Fame, combined with the length of his career where he wasn't even that good but now is having a resurgence, makes him a Hall of Famer.
I definitely have to agree with that. Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer.
Max, this is hard for me because I respectfully disagree. I do not believe that Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer. Believe it or not, I think he has a chance to be, but I don't think he is. He's certainly not first ballot, and here's why. First, the superlatives. He's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's a 5-time rebounding champion, if I remember correctly. At least 2 times he led the league in block shots. And you're right, 8 All-Star appearances, 5 times he was on the All-NBA team. We get that. But that was the first 8 years pretty much. Since that time, remember, before he went to L.A., he went to Houston. Drama. L.A., drama. Then the Charlotte and you got all of this stuff going on. And so over the last 8 years, primarily due to injury, but also the drama, he has stained his career. And when you spend that much time having dissipated and diminished, that's going to be problematic for you. Now, I will tell you this. From a numbers perspective, it's justified. Because when you see some of the numbers, the Dennis Rodmans of the world and, others, you can understand how he could easily make the Hall of Fame. But you could also understand how he couldn't because there's such a long period of time when he hasn't been in the Dwight Howard that he was in Orlando. Yeah. And when we look at him, we say, damn, the worst thing that ever happened to him was the fact that he left the Orlando Magic because it appeared to be the ideal situation for him. But because of his brand and his visions of grandeur beyond the court of play and what he wanted to do in the quote-unquote marketing world, that combined with injury stained him so significantly that he won't be a first ballot.
Yeah, so I like to stay away from whatever happened off the court. I'm primarily just worried about what he did on the court. So let's take a quick look at Dwight Howard's stats again. So he's an 8-time NBA All-Star from 2007 to 2014, 5-time All-NBA First Team from 2008 to 2012, 3-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year from 2009 to 2011, 4-time NBA All-Defensive First Team 2009-2012, NBA All-Rookie First Team 2005, 2-time NBA Blocks Leader 2009 to 2010, 5-time NBA Rebounding leader of 2008 to 2010 to 2012 and 2013. And he won a dunk contest, what was it, in 2008. And he has an Olympic gold medal. So I would definitely say that Dwight Howard is up there and he should be in that Hall of Fame. And what really stands out to me with the stats is the 3-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, that's huge. I mean, you want to talk about hustle? 3 consecutive years Defensive Player of the Year. I think whoever has that, you should get into the Hall of Fame just off of that, because that's hustle, that's determination right there. That's out of control. Now, I can maybe agree with not having him be a first ballot Hall of Famer because he kind of fell off for a while, even though he was coming back. But I definitely think Dwight Howard definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. So let's continue.
A Hall of Famer, but if the Lakers win the championship and he's a strong contributor like he has been, that could change people's minds.
I actually don't think it's leaving Orlando, although I know why you feel that way. I think it was more the injury combined with the changing of the league, the way that affected Carmelo negatively and other players who played a certain way and had value doing a certain thing, the way it affected them negatively. Guys like Andre Drummond, DeAndre Jordan, they're not considered elite players the way the league changed. So that affected Dwight combined with the injury. But when you're 5 times a top 5 player, 5 times number 1 at your position, I think you're in the Hall of Fame.
So I'm going to have to agree with that. I think he definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame for, his stats are just out of control. I just think a lot of people have forgotten about Dwight Howard because of all the issues he had for the past couple years. So even I was kind of clowning Dwight Howard when he came back to the Lakers for the second time. But he's really impressed me, and he proved me wrong. Like I said, I was clowning him because I guess I may have been living in a moment of his past few years where he hasn't really been doing anything. But he's definitely came back. He's definitely been balling this year with the Lakers. He's definitely complimented the Lakers and LeBron James. And I definitely think he's a Hall of Famer. But like I said, I could definitely go with him not being a first ballot Hall of Famer because he did fall off for a while. But his numbers are strong enough that I think he definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. And again, I'm happy for Dwight Howard. He's really done a great job. He's had a great comeback, and I'm happy for that guy. So let's continue.
Renee, real quick before we go, if Dwight manages to win a championship with this year's Lakers team, would that help his Hall of Fame case for you?
Absolutely, because he's been a strong contributor. He has shocked us all with the way that he's played. Yep. He's having a very, very good year. And not only that, I happen to think he's a far better person than people have given him credit for. But he's got to show up, whether it's this year and next or whatever, and make that difference.
He's
he won't
playing
be a
for
first ballot
LeBron.
Hall of Famer otherwise.